Hey and welcome to my YouTube channel Yoga with Narelle. I've been working very hard on creating a beginners series, so I just wanted to do a quick intro before we jump straight into class number 1, just so you'll understand what to expect from the series. It's basically primarily for brand new beginners of yoga, people that might not know anything about it. It's just to help improve, I hope over the course of the series, that you will improve your flexibility, improve your mobility, and also along the way will gain a bit of strength as well. So it's not just for brand new beginners. If you have been practicing yoga quite regularly or you dip in and out of it, it's quite good to come back to those kind of basic core movements. It focuses on each of those, the alignment, and how to make them work with your body. So I really hope that you enjoy it. I've had so much fun creating it. You might be able to tell in a few parts of some of the videos that this is a learning process for me as well. So I'm really excited for you to come along that journey with me. In saying that, feedback is so welcome. It helps me to be able to help you better. Each of the classes are structured in a way where the following one builds on the previous one, so it should hopefully be a very natural progression for you. So yeah, this video will kind of jump straight into it. So if you aren't already, if you sit on your mat in a cross-legged position, and without further ado, let's begin. Let's begin in a cross-legged position. One thing when we usually sit cross-legged, we either tend to curl our spine or hunch over. So just focus whenever you're doing yoga, which then again, once you start practicing it more and more on the yoga mat, these things translate into your regular life and improve your posture anyway. But just think about having your spine straight. I like to visualize it as there's like a puppeteer pulling the crown of my head towards the ceiling and pulling me upwards. But in saying that, do relax. You can close down the eyes. You can just take a gaze to the floor and just start focusing inward for a couple of minutes. We're going to relax the shoulders down away from the ears. We're going to relax the jaw, the cheekbones, relax the eyelids, and just focus on your breath. Just notice your breathing. Don't try to manipulate it just yet. Just notice how you're feeling today. Are you tired? Are you feeling energized and ready to go? You got some aches and pains anywhere? Just take a couple of minutes to notice before we start the class. Just going to do a really short, simple breathing exercise from here. We're going to breathe in. I'll explain it first. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds through the nose. We're going to hold for 1 second at the top, hold our breath, and then we're going to breathe out through the mouth for 4 seconds. So when you're ready and you've had your next exhale, we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, and out, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, and out through the mouth, 3, 2, 1. Just 2 more rounds. In, 3, 4, hold, and out through the mouth, 3, 2, 1. Final round. 2, 3, 4, hold, and out. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. We're going to start just with a couple of gentle neck rolls. So you can keep the hands on the knees or put them down to the side, just whatever's comfortable in this position, maintaining that straight spine, that's super important. So we're going to tuck the chin down towards the chest to start off with. Just let it hang there, feeling the stretch in the back of the neck. Just let gravity do the work, don't push it. And then we're going to breathe in, curl up and look over the right shoulder. And breathe out, swing it down and around and bring it over and gaze over the left shoulder. Breathe in out, tuck the chin down and around towards the right shoulder. And swing it down and around to the left shoulder. One more in your own time. Moving slowly. Feel the stretch as you go. Mobilizing the neck. Perfect. And neutral gaze back to the front. From here, we're going to shrug our shoulders really tight up towards the ears. Breathe in. We're going to let it go. Drop them down by the side. Two more like this. Shrug the shoulders, tense the neck up towards the ears. And breathe out, let it go. And one more like this. Squeeze in. And let it go. Relax the shoulders down. From here, we will do a seated spinal twist. So we're going to take the left hand and move it over to the outer edge of the right knee. I might just move to the twist to the side. You stay where you are so you can see. So my left hand's coming to the outer edge of the right knee. My right hand's coming directly behind the back. You can either be on the fingertips or flat palm if you're quite flexible already. But again, it's the start of the class. We're not pushing anything too much. We're just warming up and improving our mobility. I love a spine stretch because it's literally like someone's taking wringing a cloth out. So what we're going to do here is when we breathe in, we're going to act like that someone's pulling those puppet strings up to the ceiling, pulling the crown of the head up to the ceiling. Breathe in. And when we breathe out, we're going to look over the right shoulder and start to twist our body around. Only within what feels good for you. Breathing in, pulling the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Breathing out, see if you can twist a little bit more. Final time, breathe in, stretch the spine. Breathe out, see if you can look a little bit further, twist a little bit further. Perfect, and we're just going to swing it right around to the other side. And just swing the hands around, catch the left outside edge of the left knee with the right hand and put the left hand behind you onto the fingertips or the palms, whatever's easier. Breathing in, stretching up to the top, and breathing out, looking over that left shoulder. Breathing in, stretching up, and breathing out, see if we can twist a little deeper. Final breath in, stretch, and out to twist. Wonderful, bring it back to our neutral position. Some side bends from here. We're gonna sweep the hands up, parallel with the palms facing each other. Again, anytime you're doing any action like this, we're coming up to the ceiling, straightening the spine, loosening the shoulders. Breathe out, right hand comes down beside the hips. And we're gonna stretch the left arm across the body. Look up to your armpit. Here, it's super important not to make sure to get the stretch, you're not just hunching over forward or bending backwards. You want to keep that nice and in one line. Actually, to get a better stretch here, rather than just trying to bend as far as you can, what we want here is active fingertips. So we want to push the fingertips up. We don't really need to stretch too far to the side. To feel it right from the hip bone, the whole way up the side body, through the armpit and through the hand. Breathing deeply. Our next breath in, back up, stretch up out of that. So then bring the left hand down to the side of the body and stretch over the other side, looking towards the armpit or the elbow. Same thing, no dead fingers here, active fingers pushing out. You want to feel it the whole way from here, all the way through. Perfect. Maintain that alignment. Not too far back, not too far forward. Final breath in and out. Breathing in, we're going to come up. We're going to do 2 more like this. Now that our sides are slightly more warmed up, this is when you might be able to bend a little bit more, but don't push it too hard. Active fingers, pushing your bum into the mat. That's where you're getting the stretch from. Fingertips and the bum. Breathing out, breathing in, back up, push up before we go to the other side. See if you feel a little more open than the first time. You might not, but you might. Perfect. Breathe in and hands down to the side. Moving into a tabletop position. This is a real fundamental, it's in majority of classes. Position, you might know it from other exercises or if you've tried yoga before. Basically come onto the hands and knees, just like this. Our palms are going to be directly underneath our shoulders here, and we want our knees directly underneath the hip bones. So hands are also shoulder width distance apart, and knees are hip width distance apart. So we want this nice 90-degree angle box shape with the body. Perfect. Once you've made those adjustments and you're here, go into some cat-cows. So from here, we're going to push into the palms, push out of the shoulders and tuck the chin in. We're going to tuck the tailbone in as well and try and curl our body in, pushing out and breathing out as we do so. When we breathe in, we're going to send the bum up and the shoulders back to hunch the spine the other way, looking up. So breathe fully in and breathe out. Push into those palms, push out of the shoulders, stretch it out, curl the tailbone, breathe out and breathe in. Bum up, shoulders away from the ears, looking up. And one more. See if you can push a little further this time. Push it all out, curl it all in. And breathe in, push your belly down, tailbone to the sky. And back to neutral. Perfect. So, in yoga, you might have seen a lot. There's a lot of actions of people moving their one foot in between the hands, and that can be super difficult. At the start, it took me forever to be able to do it quite successfully. So we're going to kind of get used to that action first. So what we're going to do from this position, we're going to stretch out the right foot, keeping it straight. And just because it feels good, we'll move back and forward a few times, stretching out the back of the leg. From here, focusing on our balance, there's going to be 3 points left on the mat, which are going to be the palms of our hands and our left knee. We're going to raise, using the core and pushing into those 3 points on the mat, we're going to lift the leg up behind us, pointing the toe. When we lift as well, we don't want to rotate the hip out this way. This is where you use your core strength and your glute strength, your bum, to hold the leg in position. We're going to bend the knee here, and we're going to tuck it in towards our chest as much as we possibly can. Push again, like that cat action, pushing out. And breathe in, straighten out the leg again, balancing on all 3. So breathing out this time, knee comes again into the chest, pushing it out. And breathe in, straighten out the leg. Final time, hold it here, use that core strength. Tuck the knee in towards the chest as much as you can. And back out. Bring the knee back down into our tabletop position. Same on the left leg. Straighten out the left leg, push the ankle out and move forward and backwards just a couple of times. Lovely. Using our glute strength, using our core strength, pushing the pants and that right knee into the mat. We're going to very easily lift the left leg in a straight position, point the toe. Double check that your hip isn't externally rotating too much. Lovely. Let's not torture ourselves. We're not hold it here for too long. We're going to bend the knee and do exactly the same here. We're going to push out from the hands to make space for the knee to come in between the chest. Try to push it towards the chest as much as we can. And breathe in. Straighten it out. 2 more of those. Crunching in. Curling and roll in. And slowly with control, move back. Final time. Crunching her in. And push back. Knees going to come down. And we're going to go into our child's pose to flush that all out. With child's pose, bring the toes together. You can also bring the knees together. It's totally up to you, whatever's more comfortable for you here. You can just play around with it. It's easier with the knees together, but if you've got quite open hips, you can bring your knees out towards the side of the mat. And then we're going to bring the bum down towards the heels. So just play around with it and to see what's comfortable for you, how wide or how close together you want your legs. Your hands. The intention here is that your forehead's going to come down to meet the mat. That took me a wee while at the start as well, so don't try and force it. You want to keep your bum glued to your heels as much as you can, because you're going to want to feel the stretch the whole way through your back, your shoulders and your neck. So the intention here, if you can, bring your forehead to the mat. When you've gone as far as you can with that, start to crawl the fingertips forward until you can feel a nice juicy stretch in the back of the shoulders, in the neck, the whole way down the spine, through the lower back. And breathe deeply here. This is literally my favorite position. It's a calming position. It stretches everything out. So just a few long, slow, deep breaths. Final big breath in and let it all out. I'm going to push up through the knees, back into our tabletop. Adjust the knees if you had them out or in, and bring the wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips, into that square position again. Now that we're masters of the crunch, we should be able to quite successfully, potentially, move our foot in between the hands. So same thing here with the right foot, raising it out, just straight, pushing it to those 3 corners, engaging the core. We're just going to tuck it in one time, so tuck it in towards the chest, and then see if you can put the right foot forward in between the hands. Now, if that didn't go quite to plan, just grab onto the back of the right ankle and you can literally just shimmy it forward, or just shimmy forward with your toes, just making sure that the ankle is below the knee, just for safety in your joints as well. Perfect. Come up to the fingertips if you like and try and straighten out your back. We're going to go into a low lunge from here. So untucking the toes as well if they're still tucked. You're going to push into the foot. Act like you're doing a scissoring action, like your legs are 2 sets of scissors. You're going to try and scissor the inner thighs together for strength. So you can push up and put your hands on your hips. Here we're putting our hands on our hips to make sure that both hips are facing in one direction. The tendency in this pose is we end up going like this to try and stretch, but we're not really getting anything out of that. It's actually quite dangerous. So that's scissoring action with the inner thighs, and put the hands on the back of the hips just to make sure both of them are tracking forward in one line. Once we get here, then we can swing the arms up, above the head. We're gonna swing the arms back behind us just to do a few dynamic movements in this pose and swish them right forward in front of us. Bringing them back up and around, rotating the whole shoulders as we do so. One more like this, stretch it out, feel the whole motion in the shoulders. And back down and around and bring our fingertips to the mat this time. Well done. Bringing the right foot back into our tabletop position, and you can straighten that out and do that forward and back motion again just to release that out. Perfect. Now we're going to do a knees, chest, chin. If you practiced yoga before, you're more than welcome to go straight into a plank position. You can come up into your high plank if you want to, but if not, we're going to start out on our knees, feet can come together, and then we're going to lower down so our belly touches the mat. The most important thing here is that we engage our triceps here, and we're going to try and act like our elbows are touching, well, not act like, keep our elbows touched to the side of our body the whole way down, going as slowly as you possibly can. So breathe out, slow, 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 right to the bottom. Here we're going to straighten out the legs, zip them together and engage them, tense them. Bring your shoulder or your hands, if they're not, right by the shoulders, or kind of just underneath the shoulders. They're tucking in, they could be touching the side body, and spread your hands wide. We're going to come up into a cobra here. So we want to, with the intention of bringing our elbows together behind the back and opening out our chest. Here this cobra should come, I don't want to leave you here for too long, but this cobra should come from our back strength more than anything, but we're going to use our hands to help us. We're going to push up, look up, and try and bring our elbows as close together behind the back as we possibly can, and breathe out back down. We're going to try that 2 more times. So the same thing again, breathe in, elbows together behind the back, push up through the hands, look up, zip the feet together, tense the legs, and down. Final time, elbows come together, open the chest, tense and push the legs into the mat, look up, and back down. We're going to push back into our child's pose from here. So we're going to bend the knees and send the bum back towards the heels. Lovely. Again, with your knees close together or wide apart, the intention of bringing our forehead to the mat as close as we can get it, and then moving the hands and the fingertips, crawling them as far forward as we can. 2 big breaths here. Perfect, back up into our tabletop position. Lovely. This time the left foot is going to come forward into that low lunge. So just in the hands, if they've moved any, wrists below shoulders, knees below hips. Now you're getting it, lads. Pushing into that right shin, both palms. We're going to use that core strength and that glute strength to lift up the leg. Bend the knee and just crunch it in the ones as close together as you can get it to the chest, which helps you move it forward. You can hop onto the fingertips if you need to as well. Grab in behind the ankle, shimmy it forward with your toes, whatever works just to get you there. It's getting easier and easier every time you do it. Come up onto the fingertips, bring the shoulder blades together to straighten the spine. Then we're going to breathe in and come up, holding the hands on the hips, making sure they're both tracking in one line, and shimmying the foot forward again, bring that ankle below the knee. Perfect, breathe here. That scissor in action as well. Remember that scissor action. We're going to do those circles again with our hands. We're going to start by breathing in, sweeping the hands up, and back around behind us. Come forward this time. Feel that whole movement, that whole rotation in the shoulders, improving our shoulder mobility every single time we do it. Perfect. One final time, sweep up, stay upright, and fingertips back down to the floor. We are going to go back to tabletop. And cross our legs to seated. Perfect. Shimmy forward if you're at the back of the mat. Grab the outer edge of the knees to bring them in together and place your feet in front of you. You're going to give yourself a hug here. If you can, you can hold onto the knees, whatever. We just want to open up that back. So tuck the chin in towards the knees, opening up the entire back body. Giving yourself a nice squeeze. Perfect. So we're going to hold on to the shoulders. Using a bit of that core strength that we've been working on here, we're going to come back to lying, but see how slowly you can do it. Engage in the core the whole way down. Engage, engage, engage. It gets a little bit difficult. Lie right back. And put the hands on the mat beside you. Perfect. Keep the legs bent like this. We're going to move up into a bridge pose. Firstly, we want to bring the heels as close to the bum as we can possibly get them. We're going to plant the hands into the mat. We're going to use our glutes and our core to rise up. So push the hands into the mat, rise up slowly, push into all four corners of the feet here. See how far you can rise up. Again, quite a common thing to do whenever we start to rise up is our knees head out the way. We want to keep the knees as close, we're not necessarily touching, but we want to keep them as close together as we can with that intention. Breathe out, back down. Let's not leave you there for too long. I'm going to do two more like this. So exactly the same thing, pushing into the feet, pushing into the hands, trying to bring the shoulder blades together behind us to push the bum up as far as we can. Engage in the glutes. And breathe out. Slowly, slowly curl the spine back down. We don't want to drop out of this. It's going to damage the spine. Third and final time, you've got this. Push into the hands, push into the feet. Slowly curl up. Quads here will be burning, the glutes will be burning. Make sure your knees aren't spreading out too far. And back down. Lovely. Here we can bring our feet just a little bit wider. We're going to windshield wiping the legs. So we're going to bring both the knees, rock them down. Actually, we'll cactus the arms first. It's called a cactus position when your arm is 90 degrees. You've got heaps of room, you can spread the arms right out. I'm going to bring our knees down to the right hand side and then sweep them up and over towards the left hand side. Do that a couple of times. Over to the right, up through center, and over and down to the left. Up into the center again. And the next time we bring our knees down to the right hand side, we're going to hook the right ankle over the top of the left knee. This just helps to pull the knee down a little bit more. Again, you're not pushing the ankle and you're just letting gravity do the work. Here we're getting a lovely twist through the spine. So you can see there's a twist through the spine happening here. As our neck is an extension of our spine, we're going to bring our gaze over to the left hand side. So we're getting a beautiful stretch. Twist, the whole way through the body. Hold it here, couple of breaths, enjoy it. Unhook that ankle and roll over to the other side. So knees are coming down to the left this time. Take that left bit and hook it onto the top of the right knee, gazing over the right hand side. long breath. Unhook the foot. Bring the feet back down to the side. Bring the arms back in. We can give ourselves one big hug. Bring the knees up towards the chest and hugging in. You can use the hands if you want on the knees, or if you can reach round for the elbows. Give yourself a big hug. Rock and roll it a couple of times if you like it as well. And down into our Savasana, our resting pose. So straighten the legs out. Bring the hands down by your sides. It's called a corpse pose. This is where we rest at the end of every class. So your neck is neutral. Your palms are facing up, which kind of causes you to draw the shoulder blades together. Just let your toes just hang out, whatever feels comfortable. You just want to relax the whole body here. Just slowing down. Breath. Stay here for a wee moment. Relaxing the legs. Focus on fully relaxing the legs. Relax the hips. Relax the chest. Fully relax it. Relax the whole right arm. Relax the whole left arm. Relax the neck and shoulders. Relax the head. Breathe in slowly. And I always like to just take this time to notice the difference between how your body feels now compared to how it felt before you started. You might feel more relaxed. You might feel more energized. Don't judge it, just feel it. You might feel more open. Give yourself a couple of moments. And we're going to bring some life back into the body. We're going to wiggle our fingers and toes. Start wiggling them here. We're going to roll over to one side, whichever one you prefer. Roll it over very slowly when you're ready. Over to one side. And there. And then pushing up to seated. Very slowly. When you're ready, crossing the legs again. And keep the gaze down or the eyes closed. Bringing the hands to the chest. And yeah, we're done. Namaste.